This is just a quick follow-up video to a series I posted on producing a replacement board for the ROM modules for the HP9830A desktop calculator. In that series I produced a replacement for these. Now these are the boards that sit inside the ROM modules that fit into this side bay within the calculator. And there are about 15 different modules available that give various software options, but each one contains a set of mask ROMs like this, which are very hard to get hold of. The modules themselves are very expensive, and so I wanted to provide an easier solution for anyone owning one of these if they wanted a software option. So I produced a replacement for the board, and this is the prototype. And as you can see, it uses a more modern EEPROM, and this is big enough to allow every single image that's available to be put into a single EEPROM, and the switches at the top just allow the individual images to be selected, and then this of course just plugs into the same bays as the original ROM modules. Now, I had been asked if I was going to provide cases for these, and my original plan was just to provide these as bare boards, but I may well supply these as complete modules. So what I've done is produce some 3D printed parts to make up the cases. So the way I've designed this, it just clips together, but it will also accept screws as well, so they can be screwed together. And of course, the way this is organised, I forget one here that's not been screwed together. If we pop it apart, you can see the board just sits inside, and you put the screws in, and then the module is complete. So the general appearance once they're done is quite good. They look fairly authentic, and in fact the three at the top in here are reproductions and the two bottom ones are originals. So if I compare this top one with an original, you can see the original on the right, and they're not too bad. It looks relatively authentic. There's no screws in this one of course, but more importantly it works. You can just select the image that you want with the switches, and as I say, these aren't actually plugged in, but they do plug in quite well. So as you can see, they do look quite authentic, and they actually work. So it has met the target for the project. As you can see, I've also produced some reproduction labels as well, so I can label up the modules to suit whatever version that I'm actually producing. So that's most likely what I'm intending to do here, is just provide these as complete modules. But I wanted to post this video just to get some feedback. Would you prefer to have the bare boards available or the complete modules? The only thing with the bare boards is because of the format required for the data, you would have to mess about with the data. You basically have to invert the data and then reverse every second byte within the file. So it is a bit of a pain to produce this if you don't have a software utility. I wrote a software utility to basically manipulate the data so it was in the correct form, and that's because these mask ROMs invert the data and the address buses. So that has to be taken into account within the reproduction. Okay, so any feedback on that would be appreciated. I'd like to get these onto my website, but I'm starting to think that the best option here is to provide these as complete modules. It will be, I think, a much easier solution for everyone.